Very good evening, everyone. You all are welcome for the series of marketing research talks. The series of webinars which start from today will be a great opportunity for you to start learning the practical application of the research methods you learn inside the classroom and help you to upgrade your marketing research skills that match with your future career prospects. And this will be a pathway to learn and conduct successful marketing research. Our series of research talks conducted by Mrs. Mihirani Dissanayake. She is a great consultant, trainer, teacher, inspiring leader, and a great marketing researcher. She graduated from the University of Kelaniya and obtained her master's degree from Sri Jayawardhanapura University. Presently, she is working as a Chief Executive Officer and Director at Survey Research Lanka Private Limited. She was a former country manager and senior business director at Kantara TNS Lanka Private Limited. Not only that, she was an assistant lecturer at the University of Kelaniya. She has over 16 years research experience, including opinion surveys, KP studies, monitoring and evaluation studies covering many subject areas such as economic, political, education, health, and sensitive topics like alcoholism, gender-based violence, and HIV, and so on. Not only that, she engaged in different market research studies, including market segmentation, UNA, innovation, communication tracking, market predictive models, retail audits, mystery customer projects, and so many. She is a visiting lecturer to many government and private universities. She is a consultant and well-renowned trainer. She has given her national contribution by participating as resource personnel at the seminars and workshops conducted by the universities and educational institutes. Despite all this, she has given her contribution to the curriculum development of government and private universities. She is an example of one of the best marketing researchers. Therefore, I strongly believe that she is the ideal person to talk about pathway to successful marketing research. Before we start our lesson, I should give you a small reminder about our ground rules of our research series. We have muted all the participants to avoid the unnecessary background noises from your end. This is an interactive session, so we wish your interaction, as well as if you have any further questions, you can put all those into the chat box. We will take all your questions into the discussion in the latter part of the session. We are not permitting personal recording, and the full video will be available in our official YouTube page, Sabra Marketing. Dear Madam, we are very lucky to have you today to start our series of research talks. Without delaying much, I would like to hand over the session to you, Madam.
Very clearly? Doctor, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay. Hope everyone can hear me. Good evening. And Dr. Sajivani, thank you very much for that long introduction and explanation about myself. So without taking much time, my effort is to utilize the maximum time to share some of the knowledge that I have gathered within my 16, 17 years experience. So let me set the context for the webinar today. As Doctor mentioned, if you have questions, you can actually take down and ask at the end of the session, or leave the message. At the next session, I'll take it up with the relevant answers. So with that message, I would like to share my slides. but slides are just for me to manage the time given to me. 16 years experience, a lot of things that I have to share with you, but within 7 hours, within the 7 days that I have in the coming weeks. So I will try my best to share as much as possible in the most simplest way for you all. Please let me know if I'm making you very complicated, if I'm talking very difficult terms, and so that you don't understand, please let me know. So with that note, let me share my slides. To set the context for the webinar today, purpose of the webinar series is very clearly mentioned by Dr. Sajivani. It is to share some knowledge about practical side of research. Now, when we say practical side of research, research is a very broad term. It's a subject and it's a profession, and it can be taken into many directions. As a profession, as a researcher, it is my job. As a marketeer, it is a tool that they use to when they are taking decisions. So as a policymaker, research is again a tool to collect data and facts for their policy making decisions. Like that, research is just not a subject. It is a avenue where anyone and everyone can gather information and data before they take any significant decision. When it comes to business specifically, it is before investing a lot of money, it is very important that we put some time and money behind for research before we jump into any research. So the purpose of this is not to bombard all of you with all what I know, which is impossible within 7 hours, within 7 days that I have in hand till the last day given. So what I'm trying to do is share some of the practical aspects of research. When all of you are going to the market, you all the students that I'm talking to, students would be a brand manager, assistant brand manager, a marketer at the end of the day in a private sector company, or for that matter public sector, or some students will end up in being a researcher. Most of the discussion and the knowledge sharing session is focusing on to assist for you all to understand what all there are in the practical business world. How do we use research? How that is different from academic research, what we have to do as part of our academic, as a dissertation or thesis. So PhD students, what they're supposed to do. So that is the whole purpose. And I am taking the session with the, topics that I have laid down. But after the session today, all of you are welcome to suggest any specific topics that I should cover in the next couple of lectures, right? So when we look at, as students coming from a university, mostly you hear academic research. As part of your bachelor research, it's it's a partial requirement of doing the thesis and a dissertation, and you have to do a research, and there are different standards given for that research, and those researchers are mainly done to prove or disprove certain conceptual and theoretical hypotheses that you may have. So that is what we call academic research. I don't have to talk a lot about it because you all are in that era now. You have to plan for your dissertation thesis. That is academic research, what we do. So when we do academic research, what happens is standards are very different. So for evaluation, you will be taking peer reviews, and basically, for an example, reviews of academias who have done similar subject research earlier will be taken for evaluation, and those standards are very different. The way we need to prepare for academic research, the way we need to do the literature review or secondary research for academic research, where we need to write academic research theses and documents are very different, and the way we evaluate also very different. How we are going to rank and mark, all that is very different. Mostly the academic research can be published in the public domain, as I mentioned, because it's a conceptualized and the theoretical background we are doing to enhance the knowledge existing in a particular subject. Therefore, mostly we can publish when it comes to academic research. Very different that is when it comes to practical research. My 16 years in practical research, professional research industry, has given me many reasons to discuss with you all how that is different from academic research. So as I told, academic research is called as scholars research and seek to add to a larger knowledge set that we have. But on the other side, practical research, what we do is, when we have any instant data requirement or a problem that we have to solve, or else we know certain things but we need some data to confirm, there we do the practical research in different scales. Now the evaluation is not based on academic standards. Evaluation is done by a company or organization who is going to use the research at the end of the day. So what we do is, we know the organization, how do they expect it to be evaluated, and how the outcome is, will be evaluated by organizations. Based on their need as practitioners, as researchers, we design a very customized, very specific design to answer a specific problem. That is where the key difference between this academic research and practical research or professional research where I am into. I will, if time permits, I'll talk a lot about this. Can you see the slides now? Doctor, can you see the slides now?
Yes, madam, of course. Now we can.
Anne, so sorry about it. So, hope all of you followed me up to academic and practical research, doctor?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. If need be, we can talk more about this, depending on your suggestions going forward, but I'll leave it at a very broad level for today to set the context, and then we can pick and choose what areas we need to go into deep in the coming weeks, right? So another clarification I need to share with you before we move on to talk about marketing research. All of you would have heard two terms when we are talking about marketing research. Some people, interchangeably we use market research, marketing research, right? We interchangeably use these two words. Probably the meaning of these two things are not really matter at the end of the day. However, as marketeers who are coming to the market at the end of the day, who are going to make use of research, I thought it's important to know the similarities and differences between these two things. As I mentioned, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day as far as we know the objective and the research that we are going to do. However, let me explain for your knowledge what are the differences and similarities between these two terms. Market research, from the word itself, it talks about a market. if you can, of course, you are, marketing students that I am talking to, all of us are aware about, 4 pieces, 7 pieces, what they are talking in marketing. Their place, which is the market. Research pertaining to market, a particular market. For an example, if we want to understand market trends, market trends in milk powder market in Sri Lanka. That is about particular market, right? A segment that we are talking about. When we are focusing our research into a analysis of a particular market or a customer segment, we call it market research. That is one of the pieces that we are talking about in marketing, right? It is research pertaining to markets. Marketing research is, someone can argue it is very broader than market research. Why? Under marketing research, we analyze and research about all pieces, right? So that is the difference if we talk about. However, someone can argue market research is a subset of marketing research, because place is a one part of a P, right? All P's that we have, one is the place. So researching about a place, a market, is a subset of marketing research. I hope that difference and the, how it becomes a subset is very clear. But from my experience, I would explain when it comes to research, when we do a research pertaining to a market or a segment, we are a bit concerned or serious or consider about the rigor, statistical validity, and all these things. Terms that I'm talking about must be not very familiar with you all, but I'll try my best to clear all of that in the series. So when we are doing a research about a particular place or a market, it has to be a representative study that we have to do, because we are going to understand the trends of a particular place and a market or segment. So therefore, mostly research pertaining to markets, when you are doing, the scale of research is much broader than the research related to marketing problems when you are doing. Because research related to marketing, we break into different pieces and identify specific problems and answer those specific problems in different research types. Okay, so that is the difference. So one can say marketing research and market research is a subset of marketing research. Someone can say, a researcher like me, I can argue market research scale. When you are doing market research, the scale is very broad. Sampling is significant, bigger. Decisions are major. Therefore, scale of the research is bigger. But when it comes to marketing research, we can break into different problems and answer from different research types. So the quantity of type of research that is happening in the industry, more of marketing research, I can't say less of, but the number of research that we do to understand trends and, how markets are evolving, how markets are encroached by competitors, all these things are very strategic level, high level research. Number wise, those are very few, very expensive, very big sample sizes that we consider. So I thought all of us wants to know the difference between market research and marketing research in this simple way. If you Google these two terms, you'll get complicated, because someone is saying it is a subset, market research is a subset of marketing research. and someone else says market research is bigger than marketing research, and all these conclusions will come in. But for you all, you should know these are two different type of research which we are doing to achieve two different, solve two different questions, or else understand about market and about marketing problems. Make sense? Are we good, doctor?
Yes, ma'am.
Hope everyone understands, and if anyone, I'm used to have very interactive conversation rather than me talking continuously.
Yes, definitely they can interact with you, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, because it's very important that you understand at the end of the day. With 16, 17 years experience, I'll end up in complicating all of you, but I don't want that to happen. So that is the difference between these two areas. So we'll talk about, if you need be, we'll spend a lot of time. I'll give you some examples also. As a researcher, I'll take the research pertinent to markets as a larger set to indicate that the scale and this rigor that we put for market research is much larger than when we are putting into marketing research. But it again goes back to the objective at the end of the day. If there's a research requirement to answer any of the marketing problem in a very significant larger way, where a company is planning to invest a huge amount of money, the scale and scope obviously is going to be very high. So different type of research that comes under market research. Market research has many. I'll give you a few examples for you to just to understand. These days we do research to understand COVID-19 impact in different market trends. COVID-19 impact on online, digital sales, right? COVID-19 impact on digital sales, or else COVID-19 impact on child related products. So those are trends related. Those are very market, one segment related research. And further we do studies to understand market sizes. If a company is planning to launch a product, very nutritious, we'll take an example, very nutritious spread products. Have you heard, margarine, butter, those products are called spread products, right? So if a company is planning to launch a nutritious spread product and butter to the market, the company wants to understand before they launch the product, or the moment the idea comes to their head, the key problem is what is the market size that they are going to own by launching this product. So for that, they want to understand the category size today, and what kind of segment who would be having the concern of existing products being not very nutritious. Okay, that is the size segment that this product can target as the maximum size, right? So that's the market sizing study. I'm giving very specific examples, the research that we are doing in our day-to-day life. Other type is feasibility test. Very common type of research that we do to understand about a market. When we open up a business is a significant investment at the end of the day. It is a lot of money, it is a lot of time, it is a lot of hope at the end of the day. So for us to accomplish all these financial and non-financial ambitions that we have by opening up a business, from research, we can assist organizations to understand how viable your business idea or your business in this society in Sri Lanka, or if a particular company is going to focus only North and East area, how this business idea is going to be viable or feasible in the North and East area. What is the kind of market that we are looking at? What is the size? How fast we can get a share from that market size? And what all properties that we need to maintain within our product to grab that market share. All these questions are coming to marketeers' mind when they are opening up a businessman mind, when they are opening up a business. So that is a feasibility study. So these are feasibility studies also coming under market research, because we are going to evaluate a full market to understand the business opportunity over there. Like that, there are so many that we can bucket it under market research. On the other side, certain terms that I'm going to talk about must be very broad. However, anyone can Google all these terms and understand what it is. But the problem is, if we don't know when we have to use these terms only, the problem is. So I will focus more on when rather than what this is. Keeping that for another day. So under marketing research, it's very specific, as I mentioned earlier. It is, for an example, if one particular company has its existing pack right now, and they believe that it's a high time for them to change the package to make a better appeal or increase the appeal to its customers. So with that idea, companies would change their package. Now, before we put the change package into the market, they want to understand how this change package would sustain my existing share, at best attract more customers. Those are the two objectives at the end of the day as a marketer: more money. I can't be losing my existing customers by releasing a new package. I have to sustain. Second biggest objective is, at best, I have to attract from competitor or new customers. So we are testing the package to see whether we are going to harm any of these two things, right? There are different risk problems comes in when I tell package test. These are only two things that I mentioned. Another example that is about the package. It's not about the market. It's not about very big. Very simple. We have the target group of particular category. Category mean product. If it is a milk powder brand, milk powder users. When we go to find, I will use the find word for the moment. We use the word called recruit respondents who are using this category users. So we recruit, there's a method to do that. We recruit this category users, and different methods are there to test a package. So we give the the current package, and from questioning and from observation, try to understand what would be the deviation if I launch this new package into the market. So that is very specific question about packaging. So it is related to marketing problems. Second example is advertising. I have an advertisement and I want to either test this before I launch or after I launch. All these are very specific to see the effectiveness of this advertisement. So I do have a very focused research design, very focused target group, and test it among that very focused target group. So that is very precisely a marketing research. So it is about promotion, advertising. So like that, the more it is specific towards P out of 7 Ps, and more Ps will be coming into this going forward. As much as it is very specific and clear towards a P, it is research related to market. There are certain research where we can't put it to marketing and market research as well, because at the end of the day, we would be doing a research to put a product back into the market. So we want to understand competition. So if we are trying to understand competition, we want to understand competition in a particular market. So then it cannot be classified into these two, under either of these. So like that, just understand there are differences, there are similarities, and doing research in the practical world, when it comes to these two different things, very different. And even when we are talking about specific research types that we have to do under this, is very different the way in which we do things. There's no copy pasting in research, practical research industry. We cannot do copy pasting. The moment we do copy pasting, the entire world see the copy pasting, right? So that's the bottom line. So, all of these types, these are very few in this slide, very few type of research that I have laid down. There are so many occasions organization, a company would need research. I'll talk about that in a little while before we go into doing a research in practical world. So at the end of the day, we have a research now in our hand. Which term is widely used? Is it the, I don't know, I can't. When my client talks to me, I have a market research requirement. Someone would say, I have a marketing research requirement. So it is used interchangeably, and you all can do a small secondary research. You can read, existing publications and, how it has been used after taking it as a research, right? And we'll go into, slowly go into doing a research. Why do we need research for a business at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, research would assist a business to do two things. Many questions will be answered, but at the end of the day, it will serve two purposes. One purpose is, business people have a lot of gut feel. They know what they are doing. They know about their market. They know about their brand. Because they are the one who has created, they are the one who has, bought and brought up the brands into the market. So they know a lot of things. Although they know a lot of things, they use research to get a confirmation on what they know as market realities, right? Most of companies, I would say most of the research, not business, organizations do not know the answer. They know the answer. They know a couple of answers for one question, but they don't know which one is the best decision for the business. Therefore, they do research to get a confirmation. Okay, hold on. Let me do a research and try to understand, am I going in the right direction before I jump into it, right? Here, when the companies are too confident about their decision, too confident, too inward looking, they are very confident. When they are too confident, they deprioritize research and tell no need to do research. Focus, on launching this particular product. No need to do research. Or I'm going to change an existing product. I'm going to reduce the amount of sugar in the product and launch it. No need research. I'm confident that people are nowadays using less sugar, so my product will be not a failure in the market. So like that, they go ahead with their gut feel. Sometimes they becomes, their decision becomes true and they are going to be successful. Sometimes they are going to be launch is going to be failed. And however, most of the companies, when it comes to very high investment and risk in their decision, they do research to get a confirmation on what they know already. Sometimes my experience, they know already, they know something, but research prove them wrong. As part of the research, we do the research, we don't know what their decision is, we don't know what they know is, right? However, we are very independent. We do the research in the right design, right manner, and all that. And when we go and make the report presentation, they get surprised. Oh, I thought otherwise, but this is what is going to happen, right? But they will not accept our decision as soon as we give them. As far as we have data to justify whatever the decision, whether their decision is right, whether another new decision is right, they will take it up and run. So this is very important when you go to the world, business world. Before you jump into any decisions, first thing comes to your mind, what are the justification, what are the factors, what are the points that I have to confirm my decision. I have to walk to my boss and be confident that this business idea is going to work for my brand. So what are the facts? You do your secondary research, you do your reading and be confident. And even if you have a small space which is not confident, suggest, and you have a leeway to suggest, but I'm confident about these factors, but I have a doubt because now COVID has come, so many things would have changed. Now better to do a research. So like that, as assistant brand managers, they are taking decisions, and finally those researchers come to professionals like us seeking our assistance to do that research. That is the big part of research. Second biggest is they don't know anything about the market. They want to know the unknown market realities, right? There are so many unknown market realities, right? So business organizations time to time wants to know these realities, different trends, different changes in the market, which they don't know, because they want to change their business to make it relevant to the market day by day. So to do that, certain researchers are done to understand or uncover unknown market realities. So I can tell many other, reasons, but these are the biggest two reasons why a company would do research, right? Of course, some companies do research like this. They have the research budget allocated at the beginning of the year. There's a certain amount of money allocated for research for a particular brand. However, what happens is brand managers, assistant brand managers are stuck with their operation, and till the end of the year, they have not spent that money for any research. That means any research is not done for that brand means no new market changes or unknown factors have been uncovered by the brand manager. Then when it comes to the latter part of the year, what they do is, oh, no, part of this I have to spend and show my management. And they jump and spend this money just for some topic, random topic. So there are certain research like that as well. There are certain research that are done to submit data for award ceremonies by companies like that. There are so many research happens, but professionally as part of decision making, these are the two research types that we do. All okay? So far so good?
Yes, ma'am, we are okay.
Both of us are okay, not sure. Anyways, right. Okay. Now we'll understand. Now we are talking about two big reasons why we do research. One is to get confirmation of what they know already. Second one is the uncover unknown realities in the market for them to adapt. So for them to make their business relevant to the market. At different occasions, research requirements pops up from companies. All of these are taken from company side, based on what different types of research what we get. So different occasions where we need research, where the companies need research. This slide cannot justify the number of occasions. This will tell, you know, this many number of occasions only. So there are so many occasions where the research becomes a need for organizations. But very critical, very salient, very popular ones are before starting a business. I mentioned about feasibility studies earlier. Before starting a particular business, companies do need research, or they choose to do research. We call it, you know, generally we call it feasibility study, market feasibility study, business feasibility study, business viable study, and all these things. Based on that research data is sometimes, not sometimes, most of the cases are used to submit a proposal to a financial company to get a loan for the business as well, right? So feasibility study is done, study have confirmed that, okay, this product and business is going to be viable in the market. So the businessman or woman is going to take that into the proposal and submit it to the financial company and take their financial assistance and start the business. Like that, in many ways, feasibility studies are used when they are going to start a business. There are interesting some other studies they do before starting a business. We have got studies to identify the ideal geolocation for a business, right? So how that happens is, now business feasibility study is done, all the decisions have been made, product is being manufactured in a factory, everything is there, or else it is getting from another country, and all that is planned, and we have to just start the business and find a location. When we are finding a location, there are so many factors that a company should consider. Environmental factors, depending on their supply chain and the waste removing process and all these things. Can I have my factory near to a canal? No, there will be policy regulation problems. Like that, there are so many things. And should my business be near to a commercial hub, or else is it okay to have it in a residential area as well? Or else due to climate and all that consideration for a business, where exactly feasible place for my business? That's the place. We do geo-placing test, right? We use geoplotting technology to do those studies. There are interesting studies like that at the start of a business. Second type is, this is not second type, it's you know, in a broad flow, these are the occasions that is coming in. Second occasion is before launching a product or a service or advertisement. Before. And then before also there are different stages. Before, if you take a product, there are a couple of occasions before. One is at the concept level. Concept level means assistant brand managers, marketers sit down and write the benefits of the products and the product specification as a concept. When I read that concept, and any consumer reads that concept, they will understand what kind of a product is going to come into market. So before the marketer put money into production, they do the concept test, right? Product concept test. Like the same way, any service you can test on concept, and advertisement also. Manufacturing cost of an advertisement is huge, humongous money that we need. So before we do all of that, we do concept. So before product, service, advertisement, launch, one occasion. After the launch, while launch also there's an occasion, but I'll touch upon in occasions. After a launch of a product or a service or an advertisement. Now I have before done the research, and based on the research findings, I have created my product or service or advertisement and launch it. Now I want to know whether my intended results, ROI, return on investment, is being generated slowly but surely. That is after doing research, after launching any particular product. Another occasion is when we have done any changes to our existing products, package changes, taste changes, size changes, or else SKU launches, different sizes. I had 100 ml earlier, now I am coming up with small sizes. So like that, before doing any changes to my existing product or service or advertisement for that matter, we do research. Organization should have the need of research. Other one is when we see a degrowth or growth. We are curious to understand reasons for growth as well. Is it because of true success of my brand, or else some other competitor is falling behind, so I am getting more business, or else degrowth on the other side. So to answer all these questions, we use research. Another occasion is brands or products comes into the maturity level. All of you know product life cycle, how it mature, how it come to the maturity level and then diminish at the end of the day. So no business person wants to diminish their share once it has reached the maturity level. So at the maturity level, they need to figure out some other innovation to sustain their share and the growth. So we'll talk about those things. For an example, an existing product, laundry soap, we'll take. They are launching with new flavors, etc. New fragrance, etc. to sustain the maturity level. They have come to the maturity without dying down. They introduce different flavors to sustain their share. So that is another occasion. Another occasion is product extension. Now I have yogurt being manufactured. The R&D team, research and development team in the factories suggests they can manufacture some other product in the same line, same manufacturing line. So when we do a product extension, it becomes a portfolio change. What is the portfolio? Portfolio is product portfolio means I have my milk powder, yogurt, cheese. Some another product comes in means my portfolio increases. My product portfolio increases. So any product portfolio increases, I may need research. And when a competitor enter or exit from the market, very important occasion. When the competitor enter into a market, it's very important that we do research and understand what should I do to sustain my share without allowing them to, break into my shares. Or when exiting a competitor as well, it's very important for us to do, okay, what is the opportunity for me? Are they exiting? They were fulfilling this particular need in the market. Can I make a product extension and eat into that share as well? So these are the critical decisions that they take. And as I mentioned, some other very popular critical researcher, when pitching for brand award ceremonies, companies do research these days, right? So very broad level, very big buckets of occasions that I mentioned, while there are so many specific, if we go by problem, different types of research that we do in the practical world. So it's interesting. It's very interesting because each research is different to one another. As I mentioned, we can't do the copy paste. It's a first principle designing, first principle data collection, first principle analysis, first principle strategy generation. So like that, it's very interesting world that you're going into as marketeers to use research, and as users of research, you all should know this nuance level, what is happening, right? So I have 2 minutes. So with that knowledge, today I wanted to set the context where I'm heading to. I'm very clearly taking you to the practical research world, and more than what I do as a researcher, how a research is being generated from businesses, and how we cater to those research, how we execute such research, like that. From the time the research brief is generated till the research report is being presented to the client, I'm going to take you through a journey in a very summary, simple way. While I'm taking you through this journey, I'll be using a lot of jargons, a lot of terms. I'll try my best to solve that. And from the starting point is, what is this research brief? I will show you what kind of a research brief is this and how to write, what areas to cover, etc. And I'll take you through a journey very clearly, simply, as much as possible within the next 6 days. I think with that, Doctor, I think I'm done with the time.
Yes, ma'am.
We are done with the time, right?
Yes, ma'am, exactly.
Yes.
So it is time to ask any question. If you all have any questions to ask, it is time for you to get use of the time. Students?
No questions on the chat box.
Yes, ma'am. There are nothing.
You can think about at home and come back also. No hurry. But make use of this time, because I think we have a couple of minutes in hand.
So since there are no questions from the side of the students, so I have to say a thank you, ma'am. So on behalf of the Department of Marketing Management, Faculty of Management Studies, Sabaragama University of Sri Lanka, I must really thankful for sharing your knowledge, experience with us. And it is indeed a valuable addition to the knowledge of all the participants. I take this opportunity to thank all the participants as well. I would invite all the participants to stay tuned with us for future webinars as well. We will meet again next Saturday at same time from 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. with our second series of marketing research talks. Stay tuned with us. Thank you again and good night.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. I think we go, yeah. If there's any question, we'll pick it up. Prepare to get some questions till by the next weekend. So we will talk about it. I expect more interactive sessions in the coming weeks. Thank you very much.
Ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.